Hello everybody, it is Draco in here, and welcome to the next race of the Dinoco Cup Series Season 2. We're about to kick off the round of 8, and we have a brand new camera angle for the roval, so you could actually see the cars on the track. I may use this camera angle from now on, depending on how it comes out today, but yeah, without further ado, let's give you some of the updates on the playoff drivers for the round of 8. Austin Dillon, who finished, I believe, 7th in the round of 12, so was close to missing it but didn't miss it. He's on the pole. Brad Keselowski, who won his way into the round of 8, he is qualifying in 10th. William Byron in the 24. Over here, he qualifies 17th. The 9 of Chase Elliott qualifying in 26th. The 48 of Jimmy Johnson right next to him, or behind him rather, qualifying in 27th. Christopher Bell in the 95 will qualify in 32nd. And Eric Jones in the 20 will qualify 39th. So anyway, let's get this race underway. I just dropped my phone. Luckily it was not even like a few inches. Drop. That's too high up. There we go, that should do it. So, yeah. So on the pole is the 3 of Austin Dillon. The 55 of Henry Miles is second. 99 of Scott Legacy Jr. qualifying third, and the 98 of Spencer Gallagher fourth. By the way, your DNQs for this race are Ty Dillon, Chris Buescher, Landon Castle, and Ryan Blaney. So anyway, flag, and it's going to be the 3 and the 98 moving on like you probably expected. The 55 and the 99 will DNF. Next we have the 47 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr., the 19 of Martin Truex Jr., the 42 of Ross Chastain, and the 38 of John Hunter Nemechek. And the caution is out. Truex didn't make it past the line. So we're going to try that again. And he didn't make it past the line again. I'm pretty sure his tires might be stuck. Yeah, one of his rear tires is like scraping the quarter panel for some reason. So here we go. We're going to try that one more time. And one of the barriers with a Jimmy Johnson car that I used for the barriers moved for some reason. There, that should be good. So it looks like John Hunter Nemechek and Ross Chastain are going to move on. Nemechek has had a great season in that 38 car. Luckily, he is scheduled to be a rookie next year, full time in the Dinoco Cup Series, as the barrier still hasn't moved all the way. Might have to put both tires all across it. There. That's going to have to do. Next we have the 73 of Danny Swords, who's not going to be in that 73 car next year. Then we have the 2 of Brad Keselowski, the 1 of Kurt Busch, and the 34 of Michael McDowell. And it's going to be the 1 and the 73 moving on. Brad Keselowski, a playoff driver, not moving on to the next round. That could be pretty dangerous for him in the points. So anyway, next we have the 86 of Chick Hicks, the 72 of AJ Allmendinger, the 25 of Owen Miles, and the 6 of Ryan Newman. Here we go. In the air, and it's going to be the 6 and the 72 moving on. The 25 and the 86 will not make it. Next we have the 24 of William Byron, the 39 of Buck Bearingley, the 35 of Joey Miles, and the 8 of Tyler Reddick. And that'll be a caution, too many cars flipped over. Again, and it's going to be Reddick and Bearingley moving on. Unfortunately for William Byron, that's going to put him back in the points. Of course, we have 3 Hendrick cars in this round, so they just have to hope that Chase Elliott or Jimmy Johnson does better. Next, we have the 60 of Chase Briscoe, winner from last week, the 11 of Denny Hamlin, then the 40 of Rory Miles, and the 10 of Eric Almirola. And the caution is out again. The 40 didn't make it past the line, which isn't very surprising because the car that I'm using for the 40 has super lock-up tires. Here we go. Coming back to the green again. And the freaking thing moved again. You know what? I'm saying that. I may just replace that thing entirely. Yeah, so we're going to take a break for a second. Because that thing just keeps moving. It won't stay in place. That's good. Okay, anyway, we have one more attempt at this. So the 40 of Rory Miles, the 60 of Chase Briscoe, and then Hamlin and Almirola. It's going to be Briscoe and Almirola moving on. Hamlin and Rory Miles will not make it to the next round. Next we have the 88 of Alex Bowman, the 9 of Chase Elliott, the 48 of Jimmy Johnson, so 3 undercars in this round. And then finally they have the 77 of Johnny Sauter. And everybody stayed on their wheels, so that's going to be a caution. Somehow the 77 stayed on his wheels. I feel like he was on his side at one point. And it looks like it's going to be the 9 and the 48. Both the playoff drivers for Hendrick, or 2 of the playoff drivers for Hendrick, are going to move on. Meanwhile, Bowman and Sauter will not advance. Next, we have another playoff driver, the 14 of Clint Boyer, which we forgot to mention in pre-race. Then the 21 of Matt DiBenedetto, the 16 of Ryan Reed, and the 95 of Christopher Bell. Oh, it's going to be DiBenedetto and Boyer moving on. So that's going to knock Bell off. Looks like half the playoff drivers made it and half of them didn't. So the half that made it are going to be the ones above the cutoff line going into the Brickyard next week. So next we have the 0 of Dylan Lupton, the 05 of Sebastian Giglio, the 18 of Kyle Busch, and the 22 of Joey Logano. Oh, it's going to be Lupton and Logano. Wow, very fast lap for Lupton. Looks like he's pretty good at road courses, but that means Kyle Busch and Sebastian Giglio are out. And we're already past 11 minutes in just the first round. Probably because I had to take like a minute break to fix the thing. So next we have the 43 of Bubba Wallace, the 41 of Cole Custer, the 20 of Eric Jones, and the 5 of Justin Allgaier. It's going to be Bubba Wallace and Eric Jones moving on. Cole Custer and Justin Allgaier will not advance. And here we go, the final race in round 1, the 4 of Kevin Harvick, the 51 of Alex LeBay making his first Cup start. He almost went down the track. And the 95 of Lightning McQueen. And like we expected, it was LeBay and the 4 of Harvick. So they will both move on. Well, the 95 of Lightning McQueen will be out. So here we go, moving on to round 2. So in the first race of round 2, we have the 42 of Ross Chastain, the 98 of Spencer Gallagher, the 48 of Jimmy Johnson, and the 9 of Chase Elliott. Oh, Chastain and Elliott will be the ones advancing to the third round. So, then the 98 and the 48 will not advance. The 48 is still above the cutoff line because the other playoff drivers didn't do so well today. I mean, Boyer still advanced. Still. Next we have the 51 of Alex LeBay, the 4 of Kevin Harvick, the 21 of Matt DiBenedetto, and the 73 of Danny Swords. And somehow Harvick didn't make it past, which is very weird because none of his tires are locking up at all. So there is absolutely no reason that he shouldn't have made it past the line. I don't know, that second spot is sometimes weird to drivers. And the caution comes out again. Too many cars flipped over. Here we go. Here's the final race of this round. Oh, it's going to be LeBay and then I believe the 4. Yeah, it is the 4 by like about an inch. So yeah, Kevin Harvick moves on to the next round. DiBenedetto and Swords are out. Next we have the 20 of Eric Jones, the 72 of AJ Allmendinger, the 10 of Eric Almirola, and the 1 of Kurt Busch. Oh, it's going to be Jones and Kurt Busch. Moving on. Even though Kurt Busch's car is actually Michael Annette's car, I'm just calling it Kurt Busch. Next we have the 0 of Dylan Lupton, the 3 of Austin Dillon, the 6 of Ryan Newman, and the 43 of Bubba Wallace. It's going to be Newman and Dylan moving on. Bubba Wallace and Dylan Lupton are out. Next we have the 39 of Buck Bearingley, 22 of Joey Logano, 38 of John Hunter Nemechek, and the 14 of Clint Boyer. Oh, Boyer's gonna miss out on it as Bearingley and Logano move on. John Hunter Nemechek and Clint Boyer will both be out. Next we have the 60 of Chase Briscoe and the 8 of Tyler Reddick. The last race in round 2. And it's gonna go to Briscoe at the line. Briscoe has had a really fast car, looking for 2 in a row, even though he didn't make the playoffs. So here we go. The next round, we have the 20 of Eric Jones, the 1 of Kurt Busch, the 51 of Alex LeBay, and the 42 of Ross Chastain. Oh, it's going to be Eric Jones and Kurt Busch. Moving on to the final 6, I believe. While LeBay and Ross Chastain will not advance. Next we have the 60 of Chase Briscoe, the 6 of Ryan Newman, the 3 of Austin Dillon, and the 39 of Buck Bearingley. It's going to be the 60 and the 39 moving on. Man, playoff drivers are not having that good of a day today at the Roval. We might see a non-playoff driver win today. So then we have the 22 of Joey Logano, the 9 of Chase Elliott, and the 4 of Kevin Harvick. It's going to be the 22 and the 4 that move on. We only have one playoff driver left in this entire race. It's Eric Jones. So next we have the 39 of Buck Bearingley to start off the round of 6, then the 20 of Eric Jones, the 4 of Kevin Harvick, and the 1 of Kurt Busch. And this time, Jones is not going to advance. It's going to be the 4 and the 1 moving on, which means that we will have a non-playoff driver win. I mean, we could have Joey Logano win, who was a playoff driver at one point, but got eliminated. So then the final 4 is the 1 of Kurt Busch, the 4 of Kevin Harvick, 22 of Joey Logano, and the 60 of Chase Briscoe. It's going to be the 1 and the 60 competing for the win at the Roval. Chase Briscoe looking for 2 in a row. Kurt Busch looking for his first win. Like, first points-paying win, at least. Oh, it's a close one. But they're gonna give it to the 1, Kurt Busch. And the number 1 for Chip Ganassi Racing will win here at the Roval. Congratulations to Kurt Busch, and that will really shake up the playoff standings going forward. Like, a bunch of the playoff drivers didn't even make it to the second round here. So, yeah, I mean, 5 of them made it, but 3 of them did not advance. So anyway, congratulations to Kurt Busch and the Pilot Flying J number 1. He is your winner at the Roval, and we'll see you guys at the Brickyard next week.